How's it going, guys? And welcome to the Spazzin Sports Show. Welcome to episode 7 of the show. I'm your host, Chaz Kamra, and in today's show, we're going to be talking about all the NFL teams. We're going to be previewing every single one of them up to March 21st, because obviously there's going to be a lot of free agency and trade moves, especially the draft, coming up, next month. There's going to be a lot of changes, but as of right now, I'm just going to go ahead and preview all of the teams when it comes to what their team's looking like on the offensive and defensive side. I'm going to go really quick here. I'm going to try and spend only about 30 seconds on each team, 15 seconds on the offense, 15 on the defense, really quick on the additions that they make and how they can play as a team. 30 to like a minute or so. So the first team we're going to start off with, or the first division we're going to start off with is the NFC West. So first off, we have Arizona. Of course, you have Kyler Murray, James Conner, DeAndre Hopkins, Zach Ertz, on the offensive side, which is going to be great to see, when it comes to that offense, that high-powered offense. And then obviously on the defensive side, you have J.J. Watt, Rashard Lawrence, Isaiah Simmons, and Byron Murphy, Budda Baker, and all those guys on the defensive side. I think they're, going to be a really great team, a really cool team to, look at as a whole. And I believe that they're going to, run a team a lot, when it comes to the NFL West and that specific division as a whole. And then obviously you have your second team that being Los Angeles Rams. Obviously having Matthew Stafford, Cam Akers, Cooper Kupp, Allen Robinson, Tyler Higbee on the offensive side is going to be looking great. And then on the defensive side, you have Aaron Donald, Ernest Jones, Leonard Floyd, Jalen Ramsey, Taylor Rapp. Those players, especially on the offensive defensive side, they're going to be looking to, defend that Super Bowl title that they won last year. This year in February, they're going to go ahead and try and, defend that title. Obviously, Aaron Donald, that's only if he returns, which I'm pretty sure he is. And if he does, that defense is going to be solid. And then obviously we eventually go into San Fran, the 49ers. Shout out to Kono. We're going to go ahead and see, Jimmy G maybe get a contract extension. Highly doubtful, but definitely a possibility. I know a lot of 49er fans don't necessarily want that, but there's no quarterback, on the market, real quarterback on the market as of right now. There is Baker Mayfield, out there, but other than that, that's pretty much it. Unless you're looking to go ahead and draft another quarterback, or obviously, play Trey Lance. Then you have Elijah Mitchell, Debo, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, obviously on the offensive side, and then defensive side you have Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, Fred Warner, Jimmy Ward. You got a lot of great players on the defensive side as well. So it's going to be really interesting, especially when it comes out of that division. I don't necessarily think that they're going to be good in the division, especially if they, have trouble getting a quarterback up there. But and then obviously you have Seattle. Shout out to Tanner and shout out to all my family in Seattle. You have you need a quarterback. Russell Wilson's obviously gone. You have Drew Lock. You do have Drew Lock. You have Chris Carson, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Noah Fant. So it's going to be really interesting, especially on the offensive side. And then defensive side, you have Nwosu, who's my personal favorite, as I am a Charger fan. Considering that he came from the Chargers. Then you have John Reed, Quandre Diggs, Jamal Adams, of course. So that defense, especially that defensive back front, definitely needs a lot of improvement. I do believe that Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams are great players, but they do need help. And then obviously on the offensive side, that quarterback position is going to be, definitely one in question. And then obviously, then we go to the NFC East. We have the Washington football team. The Washington Commanders. Carson Wentz, obviously Antonio Gibson, Scary Terry, Curtis Samuel, Logan Thomas, on the offensive side. And then on the defensive side, you have Chase Young, Jonathan Allen, Jamin Davis, Cole Holcomb, and Kendall Fuller. Defensive side, they're really solid. Offensively, we'll see what Carson Wentz does. Especially when it comes to that division. And then we go into Philadelphia. Shout out to Mark. Shout out to Nick. Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders, Devontae Smith, Jalen Reagor, Quez Watkins, Dallas Goedert on the offensive side. And then on the defensive side, you have Hassan Reddick, TJ Edwards, Patrick Johnson, Darius Slay, and Anthony Harris. You have great players on the defensive side. You have great players on the offensive side. It's going to be really what Jalen Hurts could do. Especially when it comes to what he did last year. If he could, maybe replicate it or play even better like he did than last year, I do believe that the Eagles are, going to be forced to be reckoned with, especially to a struggling division like the NFC East. And then you have obviously New York next. You have Daniel Jones, Saquon, Kadarius Toney, Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard, Ricky Seals-Jones on the offensive side. Then on the defensive side, you have Leonard Williams, Blake Martinez, James Bradbury, Dory Jackson, Xavier McKinney. You have great players, especially on the defensive side. Offensive side, Daniel Jones, kind of a liability. Tony, liability a little bit. Saquon, you just hope that, as a Giants fan, you hope that he just stays, healthy when it comes to that. And then as far as that goes, you go into the last and final team, which is the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, you have Dak, you have Zeke, you have CD, you have Michael Gallup, you have Dalton Schultz, re-signing with the team as well. And then that's on the offensive side. Defensive side, you have DeMarcus Lawrence, Jabril Cox, Michael Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, Malik Hooker. You have a great team. Obviously, they had a couple of struggles when it came to last season, but I do believe that this team is going to win the division quite handily, I'm assuming. But don't be surprised if they lose a couple games to divisional rivals such as the Eagles or even Washington, if Carson Wentz does end up doing good in Washington. And then we go into the NFC North. We start off with Chicago, Justin Fields, David Montgomery, Byron Pringle, Cole Kmet on the offensive side. Then on the defensive side, you have Mario Edwards, Justin Jones, Roquan Smith, Robert Quinn, Jalen Johnson on the defensive side, and Eddie Jackson, of course. Then you go on to Green Bay. You go into Detroit, actually. Sorry. You have Jared Goff. You have DeAndre Swift. You have Amon-Ra, DJ Shark, TJ Hawkinson on the offensive side. Defensive side, you have Jeffrey Okudah. You have Jalen Elliott. You have Anthony Pittman. You have Charles Harris. You have Michael Brockers on the defensive side. Green Bay, obviously, you have Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, Randall Cobb, Alan Lazard, and that line, especially with Josh Myers, Dave Bakhtiari, and then obviously that defense, you have Kenny Clark, Devondre Campbell, Preston Smith, Jair Alexander, and you have a lot of great players, especially on the offensive defensive side. I do believe that they're going to win the division when it comes to Green Bay. And then obviously, last but not least, you have Minnesota, Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, CJ Ham, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne, and Irv Smith. On the offensive side. Defensive side, you have Daniel Hunter, Harrison Phillips, Eric Hendricks, Chad Surratt, North Carolina, and Cameron Dantzler on the defensive side. And then NFC South, by far one of the most entertaining divisions in the NFC for sure is going to be the NFC South. First off, you have New Orleans Saints, you have Taysom Hill, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, Marquez Callaway, Deontay Harry. On the offensive side. Defensive side, you obviously have Cameron Jordan, Demario Davis, Marshawn Lattimore, and Malcolm Jenkins on the defensive side. Then next, Tampa Bay, you have Tom Brady, the GOAT, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Russell Gage, Cameron Brate on the offensive side. Defensive side, you have Vita Vea, Raheem Nunez-Roches, Shaq Barrett, Sean Murphy-Bunting, and Mike Edwards, and Antoine Winfield Jr. And then obviously you have Atlanta as well in that division. Felipe Franks, they gotta find a quarterback as well, because currently they have Felipe Franks as their starter, and they have Damian Williams, Calvin Ridley, who's obviously suspended, Kyle Pitts on the offensive side. Then on the defensive side, you have Grady Jarrett, Deion Jones, Casey Hayward, Richie Grant on the defensive side. of the ball. And then, last but not least, you have Carolina. You have Sam Darnold. You have C-Mac, Christian McCaffrey. You have DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Terrence Marshall. On the offensive side, defensive side, you have Brian Burns, Derek Brown, Shaq Thompson, J.C. Horn, and Jeremy Chin. Xavier Woods even on the defensive side. And then obviously we go into the AFC. So first off, we're going to start off with the AFC North. We have Baltimore Ravens. We have Lamar Jackson, J.K. Dobbins, Marquise Brown, Rashad Bateman, and Mark Andrews on the offensive side for Baltimore. Defensive side, we have Patrick Queen, Tyus Bowser, Marcus Peters, Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Williams, and Derek Wolfe on the defensive side. Then we have Cincinnati, Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Hayden Hurst. That's a great offense. And then on the defensive side, we obviously have Logan Wilson, Chidobe Awuzie, Jesse Bates, Von Bell, DJ Reader on the defensive side. Then we have Cleveland, obviously adding Deshaun Watson is going to be huge. They have Deshaun Watson, Nick Chubb, Ryan Switzer, Amari Cooper, Anthony Schwartz. Then on the defensive side, they have Myles Garrett, obviously. They have Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, Denzel Ward, and Josh Johnson, Grant Delpit. And then also shout out to Curtis Weaver. They have him as well, if there's a couple of injuries, on that defense. And then last but not least, you have the Pittsburgh Steelers, obviously, who have their offense with Mitch Trubisky, Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, and Pat Freiermuth. Defensively, they have Cam Harris, Stephon Tuitt, Tyson Alualu, Devin Bush, Miles Jack, TJ Watt, Cameron Sutton, Minka Fitzpatrick. That's a great defense. And then we go into the AFC South. The AFC South, we have Ryan Tannehill. We have Tennessee. We have Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown. That's pretty much it. On the offensive side, defensively, we have Jeffrey Simmons, Naquan Jones, Zach Cunningham, Caleb Farley on the defensive side. Then we have, and then we have not Miami. We have Jacksonville. We have Trevor Lawrence, James Robinson, Christian Kirk, Marvin Jones, Zay Jones, Evan Ingram. They're looking to rebuild there. And then on the defensive side, they have Malcolm Brown, Josh Allen, Tyson Campbell, Andrew Wingard, Rayshawn Jenkins on the defensive side. Houston, they have Davis Mills at quarterback right now. That's going to change for sure. Rex Burkhead, Brandon Cooks, Nico Collins, Chris Conley. On the offensive side, defensive side, they have Malik Collins, Christian Kirksey, Garrett Wallow, Tremon Smith, and MJ Stewart on the defensive side as well. And then last but not least, in the AFC South, you have the Indianapolis Colts. You have Matt Ryan, Jonathan Taylor, Naheem Hines, Michael Pittman, Mo Alley Cox. Defensive side, you have Yannick Ngakoue, DeForest Buckner, Bobby Okereke, Darius Leonard, Kenny Moore. That's a great defense as well. Right, and then we go into the AFC East, starting off with Buffalo. We have Josh Allen, Devin Singletary, Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis, Isaiah McKenzie, Dawson Knox on the offensive side. Then on the defensive side, we have Gregory Rousseau, Ed Oliver, Tremaine Edmonds, Von Miller, Tre'Davious Wright, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poirier. That's going to be a great team. Especially on the defensive side when it comes to Buffalo. I do believe that they're going to win the division as well. Then also in the AFC East, you have Miami. You have Tua, Chase Edmonds, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Parker, Cedric Wilson, Mike Gesicki. On the offensive side, defensive side, you have Emmanuel Ogbah, Raekwon Davis, Jerome Baker, Andrew Van Ginkel, Jalen Phillips, Xavier Howard, Byron Jones, Javon Holland. You have great players, especially on the defense side. It's a matter of if Tua is going to step up to the occasion or not. New England, on offense, we have Mac Jones, Damian Harris, Jacoby Myers, Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar. Defensively, they have Lawrence Guy, Jawan Bentley, Matt Judon, Jalen Mills, Devin McCourty, Adrian Phillips. Great defense. I do believe that they're going to end up being second in the division. Then you have the New York Jets, last but not least, the New York Jets. In the AFC East, you have Zach Wilson, Michael Carter, Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, Braxton Berrios, CJ Usman. Then on the defensive side, you have Quinnen Williams, CJ Mosley, DJ Reed, Bryce Hall, Elijah Riley, Jordan Whitehead on the defensive side. And then last but not least, we're going to be talking about my favorite division because that's where my favorite team is in. We have the AFC West. So the AFC West, the first team in that division alphabetically would be Denver, Russell Wilson, Javonte Williams, Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick on the offensive side. Then the defensive side, we have DJ Jones, or they have DJ Jones, Bradley Chubb, Patrick Surtain, J.R. Reed, Jamar Johnson on the defensive side. Next team is going to be Kansas City. Obviously, they have Pat Mahomes, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Tyreek Hill, Juju Smith-Schuster, Mecole Hardman, and Travis Kelce on the offensive side. Defensive side, they have Frank Clark, Chris Jones, Willie Gay, Nick Bolton, L'Jarius Sneed, and Justin Reed as well on the defensive side. And then we go into Las Vegas. We have Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Bryan Edwards, Darren Waller on the offensive side. Then obviously on the defensive side, we have Max Crosby, Cleenan Farrell, Denzel Perryman, Chandler Jones, Trayvon Mullen, Rock Ya-Sin, Trevor Mooring, Jonathan Abram. That's a lot. It's a lot on the defense. And then obviously we end off with my favorite team, the Los Angeles Chargers. Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Josh Palmer, Donald Parham. Defensively, we have Jerry Tillery, Sebastian Joseph-Day, Kenneth Murray, Drew Tranquil, Khalil Mack, and Joey Bosa, J.C. Jackson, Michael Davis, Nazir Adderley, and Derwin James. So that's basically all of the top three or top five players, top three, top four, top five players in every single division for every single team. That's just previewing every single team. I know this video was very long, and it's going to take a lot longer to edit, but that's comes with the territories. Hopefully, it's a lot less than my last episode when it came to the NFL. But I just wanted to touch base with everybody when it comes to the NFL and free agency and trades that has been going on for the past week or so. Again, that those are moves based off of Monday, March 21st of when I'm recording this. There's going to be a lot that changes after this, so don't be surprised. But yeah, do hope that you enjoyed today's episode, or this episode, that being episode 7 of the Spazzin Out Sports Show, and talking about NFL free agency and trades and transactions. Yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the video. Don't forget to look at all the things in the description down below as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope to see you guys next week, and have a blessed day.